Nation is back, and what a wild week. It's been a wild year. It's a wild week. Coach, you got a new football coach, an old football coach coming back. What's the thing been, what's kind of the vibe you got from people about Matt Viator's return?
It's been overwhelmingly, people are excited.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm just telling you, like, I mean, just dealing with him in the last, less than a week now, it's just, it's refreshing. And again, I'd like to say this too, like, there's no doubt, like, Gary Goff is a good man, and Coach Goff is a really good football coach. And one thing I've learned being in this role is that there are really good coaches that might not just be a great fit at certain places, right? It doesn't mean that Coach Goff isn't going to go or can't go and have great success as a head coach down the road somewhere else. I'd be surprised if he didn't. But, you know, but fit really matters.
Yeah.
And so I say all that to say, Coach Viator, he has a real plan. You know, he is, there is a real plan in place, and everything is meticulously thought through.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really refreshing.
He will be organized.
100%. And, you know, everything from, you know, how we're going to dress to how we're going to recruit to how we're going to do spring ball. He's going to be, you know, our guest here in the next couple segments. He's just an amazing guy.
Very meticulous, very into detail, very organized, not a lot of things. The one thing I noticed from the first time he was here, not a lot of people go out of step. Mm-hmm. So it's always, you're in line with it, you understand it, and you've bought into it, or you're not here.
Well, the thing that I've really, you know, of the numerous conversations that we had through the process, I think he really valued and respected how I've organized the athletic department, from sports administrators to.
Well, it's a whole different world from when he was here.
Here's how, you know, we fundraise. You don't have to fundraise, like, you know.
They all love that. I will say that.
You know,
that's the number one thing I get from coaches here is. Because the problem was, and we talked about this when you got the job, is you were asking the same people the same thing.
Look, when I remember getting here as a basketball coach, and I'll share this story, and you know, you're told all the stuff, right? Then when you get here, and you're and okay, we're going to go on the road to recruit, and like, well, you don't have any recruiting money. What are you talking about? No, your recruiting budget is $0. You have to raise money to go recruit. So the first thing I did, I had to figure out how to go fundraise.
Yeah.
And so I'd go and try to get $10,000 because I needed to go to, I was just like, this is the bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Well, as I like to say, is McNeese has grown up.
We have. So I think the structure, I think he really respects that. I know that he's very excited about, you know, being able to truly, you know, coach and recruit. Now, it doesn't, like I told him, it doesn't mean I don't need you to come with me to certain places, speak a little bit here, show up at these places. But as far as like running around and, you know, getting whole sponsors for a golf tournament, like coach football, recruit football. But he's an unbelievable human being. And what really got me was his passion for football. Yeah. Like, he's a football guy, and his passion for Southwest Louisiana and McNeese. If he said
he's homegrown.
If he said once, he said 10 times to me in those conversations, it's my school. Whatever I can do to, like, it's my school.
Yeah.
And that really meant a lot to me.
No, I think that's the most important thing, is it is his school. He went here, he grew up in Sulphur. His first college coaching job was here. His first head coaching job was here. He's only really been here in Monroe as far as a head coach goes. He's only been here in Monroe and Lafayette as far as a coach goes. So it's all this triangle. Yeah. So he understands it, he knows it, and he's been good at it. Mm-hmm. They've won. So there's everything. And I will say this, everything that kind of forced him not to win when he was here is now in place to win. It's a completely different situation.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that, you know, if the amount of hours when I was a basketball coach that I had to spend on fundraising, it was almost half my day.
Yeah.
Was trying to just get money to go do the things. So there's only so much time and so much energy a person has. There's a finite amount, truthfully. And so, like, what I was talked to him about was, you know, you can really use all that energy that you used to spend on trying to
Coaching
feed
football.
the team, et cetera, back to football and recruiting. And he's going to knock it out of the park. I'm just telling you that, I said it in a press conference, I mean this, and he's a really reserved and most humble human being I've ever been around. But McNeese football's back. I'm telling you right now, we got ourselves a real football coach.
Well, you got to get, and like you said, you got a guy that's passionate about not only the area, the program, the school, everything to kind of help you get over it, and somebody who knows the football landscape he's in. Even if you go up to the next level, he's been there with Monroe.
Yeah, and correct. And I also will know this too. The amount of coaches from the FBS level that reached out to me and saying, unbelievable hire, congratulations, Coach Viator's this, like his reputation is impeccable. And more importantly, his tree
is good.
I mean, you think about Slade Nagels, now the offensive coordinator at Houston, was O coordinator at Tulane. Kerry Josephs with the Bears. I mean, Hampton's with the D coordinator at Oregon. Like, all the way down. I mean, Tim Leger has done an unbelievable job, recruiting coordinator and O coordinator at Lafayette. Like, it's on and on and on.
At Miami.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Viator, Lance is at Miami. Like, he has an unbelievable reputation and an unbelievable tree. And I think that it was an absolute home run for us to be able to convince him and Chantel to come back and do this.
Yep. When we come back, we'll meet Matt Viator, or re-meet him, I guess, on Poke Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It is a pleasure and an honor to have new head football coach Matt Viator to Poke Nation. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I know we talked a little bit before, okay? But, I have to always tell our guests I apologize for Jim beforehand, okay? Just so you know. Okay, you know him a little bit. So anyway, it's just about a week since you were named the head football coach. I know anytime you take over a new job, you're drinking out of a water hose. Tell Poke Nation, what's the first week been like?
It's been great. It's obviously been busy, and
but it's been really good. I have an opportunity to come here and meet the team and meet the players and putting together staff. And, you know, we had a recruiting day, signing day last Wednesday. So, you know, basically 2 days after I got the job, so got through that. And then trying to lay out the landscape here for the next, I guess, week and a half that we have, that we can still get out and see players. And so there's a lot going on, but it's exciting. You know, it's exciting to get back in it and, you know, all those things. And luckily, you know, to have guys like Aaron, you know, Aaron Ingram, our chief of staff, that can direct me. I was picking on him because, you know, I was here 17 years and he's been here 1, and all I've been doing is following him around. Yeah, I mean, like I have no idea where I am, stuff. So, but that's been a lot of fun.
So when you take over football program, I think this is something I've always wondered. There's so many people, you know, like when you take over a basketball program, you know, there's 15 players, there's coach, you know, 4 coaches, but in football, it's just so massive. And, you know, the old saying is, how do you eat an elephant 1 bite at a time, right? But like, what was the first 36 hours? Like when you take over, and this isn't your first head job, obviously, but when you take over, what are the first couple priorities?
I think the first thing I did was meet with the coaches that were here. And, you know, and it's a tough time. And, you know, I'm a coach's kid, and, you know, we had to move several times. And, you know, so I've always been sensitive to that. I have a lot of respect for the profession. You know, so I wanted to make sure that, you know, I did due diligence there. And then obviously getting in to meet the players. That was huge, getting to meet those guys. It's a little different time now with online classes and all that stuff. So everybody, although we were taking finals, everybody's not here.
That's right.
You know, because some of them are taking them online and stuff. So I did a lot of, you know, some phone conversations with players. But first objective is with me was, hey, look, you guys, you know, you want to stay, you stay. You know, and my philosophy's been that, you know, they're McNeese football players, and when I went up and signed with you and Dr. Roos, well, I'm the McNeese football coach, so those guys are mine.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah, I
so
love that.
you know now, you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll make a few changes in this spring, and you'll see if you like the changes, and you know, we think you can adapt to some of those changes. But hey, we all have a fresh start. I've been given the opportunity by you guys to have a fresh start. You guys have a fresh start. You know, let's start fresh. So I've welcomed every one of them back.
That's awesome.
And you know, like I said, we'll go from there. But it's a little different too, though, Coach. You know that now with the transfer portal.
Oh, it's way different.
You know, so now, you know, you're not only welcoming them back, but, you know, you're recruiting them and, you know, recruiting them to come back. And so, but it's been good. But those were, I thought, were the first priorities. You know, those, like I said, the coaches that were here. And then in the process of that, I'm also putting together a staff to come here and stuff. So it's a lot of late night conversations and things, but it's been fun.
You started with retaining some coaches right off the bat last week. You're also trying to retain players. But with the transfer portal in place, and it opened, we're taping this on Monday, it opened on Monday. With that in case, the retaining has to be resell, but also, have you been able to look at a lot of film enough to say what you think you like and what you don't like, or is that still a process?
No, it's still a process. I plan on, when recruiting is over next week, I'm going to come up here and watch every game and just to kind of get a gauge of what I think. But I've actually watched some, saw the Tarleton game because it was on TV and we're off, and I've seen some games. But I felt like with Coach Peck and Coach Brown, we have mutual friends, and they have a lot of respect for both of them. And, right off the get-go, I feel like, and I've talked to him, but I feel like I know Coach Peck, although I've only actually, spoken to him several times. But, whether it's Matt Kubik or Lance Guidry or Jeff Nord, whoever, I mean, guys that worked with him and talked about his character and stuff. I thought, too, looking at it, from where we were in the 0-10 season to where we were last year defensively, we made some big jumps. So, maybe we can take that and not start over there. But, like offensively, and we're going to take it, we're going to start over. But if we can have some continuity on one side of the ball, and you look at both those guys and you look at their resumes, I mean, those guys have had some good jobs now. I mean, they've been, so like I said, I was comfortable. Matter of fact, Josh's co-coordinator and I are really good friends at UTEP, Bradley Pivoto. They were defensive coordinators, and Bradley reached out, and several people reached out, and I told Josh, we almost played Cal Poly when he was the defensive coordinator, but the hurricane and threats and all that, and I was glad we didn't. And I told him that. And he said, we almost played. I said, I know. I wasn't disappointed when our ADs canceled the game because they were good. I mean, they had a really good football team. So anyway, looking at that, and so I felt like let's start there with maybe a little bit of continuity, see if we can't, and so that's why we retained them. And then and meeting Aaron, and and I need some help, in terms of the operations and how this thing goes. And so I thought those three were easy decisions to start.
When we come back on Poke Nation, we'll talk to Coach Viator about his coming back to McNeese after 10 years, after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
We're back with Coach Matt Viator, McNeese's new and old football coach. You were here for 10 years. You were gone for 9 years. What did you learn in those 9 years that you can bring back? And also, I guess the big thing is not being in charge while you were in Lafayette and having kind of a different view of it. What kind of perspective did you get out of that?
Well, first off, I was here 17 years.
Well, as the assistant.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting it. Very few people actually.
He was here 10 years as a head coach.
But, I think, Jim, and I've said that, I think, perspective and, seeing things from a different lens and stuff, and I think it's only helped me, and I think I'm going to be, and I hope I'm a better version of what I was when I was here, because having an opportunity. The Monroe experience was really good, that I enjoyed. People were awesome. But I learned some stuff there, and then obviously going to Lafayette and working under Billy, and then I think Mike's done a tremendous job there. But being in, you just kind of on the outside watching things and being able to take things that yes, and this would work. And I've always told coaches, and probably the biggest learning curve in coaching is learning what you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. Seeing things and I don't really want to do that, and where in the future you don't try that. Yeah. So as much as you want to incorporate things that you see that you don't necessarily want to incorporate, but I think having that perspective, and I mentioned the other day and was sincerely honest, I think one of the mistakes I made in the 15 or 16 years when I was a head coach is you got to get out, but the jobs that I've kind of had in those 15 or 16 years, it was hard to leave. Yeah. So I tried to bring the ideas to us, but you got to get out and you got to see things, and things change. And so that was a good opportunity for me. Obviously, Billy Napier's past was with Coach Saban, and and get all that and all the system and how it works, and because the system is a system, and and how does this deal work? But obviously, it's fantastic ideas, and being able to see those that work and how that operation works, and being able to incorporate some of that into what I want to do was really helpful.
The one thing you said is that because all the fans that had you before and loved you before are like, oh, the past is going to come back and we're going to relive it. But you made it very clear that this is not the past, that this is going to be a new edition because everything's changed, that you have to adapt, and that you're not going back, you're going forward.
No question. And, the game has changed, and recruiting is, turned on its head, since that. So, to think that, we could come in here and, and everything's going to, it's not. I mean, times are different. And to be honest with you, and I told the players that, other than I've spent all of 15 or 20 seconds talking about when I coached here, just because, hey, I was a coach here, but it don't matter to them. I mean, whatever. I mean, no, one of the kids said, Coach, man, you got a bunch of pictures here, but other than that, what I'm saying when he walked off, other than that, it didn't do him any good, and I mean, they want to know what you can do for them now and how you can help them now and stuff. So I don't look at it, Jim, in that, in the sense that I was here. I said that, and I'll still stand by that. It's the same location. This is a different place. And what Heath and all these people have done here, this is a different place. It's different than when I walked out of here 9 years ago, and which is good for me. And like I said, I mean, I need somebody to show me around, and you know, I had to get directions to come here. You know, and that's right, I did. I mean, they walked me, and I don't, you know, I mean, how did I get there? You know, and it's different in a sense, but I think different in a really positive way, and not only the place, but the setup here and how the athletic department is run and stuff is different, and it's very refreshing to me.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this. So, what's been the biggest difference? You know, when you left here, you know, 9 years ago, you know, the last week here, and then you come back the first week here. What's been the biggest difference?
Well, I think you know, other than facility-wise
Right.
and stuff, I mean, you know, this was, you know, in the process and was drawn up in the Legacy Center, but it became, you know, a true reality after I left. The, you know, the additions of you know, on the track and, you know, Mr. Miller's contributions to baseball. I mean, all of that was all in the works. But, you know, so that's number one. Number two, I think, and you know, you and I talked about that, is how the athletic department is structured and how are you doing, and, you know, how are the football program is going to be funded, and you know, because when I was here, and not to belittle anything that was happening, but it was basically every man, woman, and child for themselves. I mean, you get out, and the majority of the time, you know, we're all hitting the same people, and you know, everybody's. But I think the structure we have here and the setup we have here is certainly was refreshing to me. You know, when you laid that out, and I was. Because, I mean, there's, you know, obviously you know that, you coach. I mean, you have to do things outside of coaching, but I would love to spend the majority of my time coaching football and recruiting.
Yeah, what a concept, right?
What a concept. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to hopefully having more time doing those two things. It's, you know, is what I basically signed up for.
Absolutely.
You know?
So Coach, what do you think, what does, you know, obviously, you know, you have a lot of experience. What does the first day of spring ball look like?
I think that, you know, the early part of spring is to teach the players and the coaches to see how I want things run. This is the tempo, this is the speed, this is how, you know, so there's going to be some growing pains. There always is. But, you know, hopefully we'll get some set up to that. And, you know, I've always had a couple mock practices, you know, before we actually go spring ball, you know, move around and where's everybody going and all those types of things. But I think that's usually the first.
That's awesome.
Order of business.
Well, Coach, we're going to welcome you back.
Thanks,
it's an
John.
exciting time. It's interesting. Remember, the same people that love you today were the same ones that hated you before. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Is that how it works?
That is how it works.
What did I say at the beginning? Like, you have to end a segment like that. Like,
No, I'm just saying.
Like you are seriously the Grim Reaper. It's the most amazing
I'm
thing.
just saying, that's the way it is. You gotta-
Coach, I'm sorry.
But
I
it
thought
is-
thought we were going to get through the two segments.
But
it's impossible.
It's an unbelievable thing to see how exciting people are about you coming back.
Thanks.
And about some of the things that you're going to bring. I want to ask you one last question because people have asked me this a lot. Are you going to move the side of the field you're on? Because everybody's worried about that.
No. You know, I'm a tradition. Well, I mean, if obviously the administration and, you know, that was something, whatever. But look, I'm a traditional guy, and, you know, the whole time I was here, you know, everybody wanted to move the press box, you know, and that was the whole deal. But then the people that always had their seats behind the team, then, you know, So now that we've moved, we're going to stay. I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't.
That's the biggest question I got all week.
It's the most
gonna,
amazing thing.
I'm not into all that.
I'd say about 30% of the people wanted you to move back, and about 70 said, "No, we're good now." Why do they want to be why do they want their eyes into the sun and all that?
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
that's
just,
the big. I kept saying, "Is that your biggest?" Not who's the quarterback going to be? Not what kind of offense you're going to. What side of the field you're going to be on?
I inherited that, and it was tradition, and you know, and the administration never said, "Hey, let's do this," and so you know, that's not. No, that's not something to me that a coach would decide anyway. That's part of tradition, and that would be over my pay grade. Okay.
Speaking from the press, it's easier to watch the sidelines from that side. So, all right, we'll come back with Coach's final thoughts. Thanks to Coach Viator for joining us. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Poke Nation, and we'll have Coach right after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
We're back. Interesting to meet Coach Viator, re-meet him.
Yeah.
Completely different situation he comes back to a school that's got fundraising in place, got everything in place, got facilities in place. He should flourish.
I think he's going to knock it out of the park. We talked about it in the first segment. He is an unbelievable human being, and McNeese football's back. He's got so much energy, and the great thing about it is the things that he had to do that took away his time the first time here, he doesn't have to do anymore.
No, doesn't have to.
And it's just, he's
he just
remarkable.
has to deal with me and you.
Yeah, well, dealing with you is not easy.
That is not easy.
100%.
I gotta get this out before.
Okay.
I want to ask you this thing, because are you concerned about the FCS playoffs when you guys draw more for a basketball game against Laterno on a Saturday afternoon than Incarnate Word draws for a playoff game at home? You outdrew them almost by double. They didn't even draw 1,600.
Yeah, and listen, I will tell you that I think Richard Duran, the AD there, has done an unbelievable job. The coach, Coach Kilbert, he's done they've got it figured out. They've done a great job.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate that they just don't get the support.
Yeah.
But I also think that, now that I think we have this thing headed in the right direction with the right leadership, just imagine having a playoff game here, and how many people will come and be.
Well, I always worry about that because we've had that before. We had a 10-0 team that only drew 5,000 for some reason. 2 weeks after playing the same team, they drew 15,000.
Yeah.
I just worry about the playoff system more than I do that because it doesn't seem like the FCS playoffs kind of grab the national attention or grab even local attention. So that's my biggest concern.
Well, I think that comes down to our conference commissioners, all the FCS commissioners. I know that they've talked about and the ESPN brand. I know our ESPN contract is up. I know Chris is working really hard on it, and he understands that it really matters, especially in this footprint. But hey, listen, the things that we can control is getting back to the playoffs, getting back to competing for championships. That's our standard here. I said that in the press conference. That is simply our expectation.
Yeah, and I would think that he's been to the playoffs before. He's won 4 championships. The thing is, you're on a trajectory up again. Is can you keep it going? And it's such a, the NIL is such a big thing to me because the portal comes in. Are kids going to stay on this level when they know they can go be a bench player for more money at another level? Who wants to stay to play and get on tape? Who wants to go get money? That's kind of it.
Well, here's the thing: is when you leave FCS football and let's say you want to go to an FBS, you're not getting, life-changing money.
No.
Okay. And so, in my opinion, okay, if you want to have a chance to play professionally, whether that's in Italy or Canada or the NFL, you have to play.
And you have to get on tape.
And yes, you have to have tape, and you have to have, it's a very simple formula. Okay? Snaps equals production, production equals opportunity to make money.
Yeah.
If you don't have the snaps, you can't have production. So it all comes back down to, what does that kid want to do? Do you want to play football, or would you like to be the third string and just be numbers at a group of 5 and make a little bit of money that's not life-changing, by the way, after taxes?
No.
To me, being
That's a big
here,
question.
100%, it's a big question. But listen, at the end of the day, I am so excited about the direction that we have this football program going, and I do thank Gary Goff for laying a lot of the foundation. He's a good man and a really good coach. It just didn't work. But we're better for having him here, and I really do appreciate him.
We'll see you next week on Poke Nation.